Good morning, my loves. Happy Tuesday. It's a glorious morning here at the lake. Right now it's in the 60s. High today is in the 90s. It's a beautiful day. I had a great response to yesterday's video, and I'm really happy. It was, for those that didn't see it, please go to my YouTube channel or go on LinkedIn or any of my social media. You will find it. It's parents. Put down your phones and interact with your kids. So this is going to be part 2. I had a great, just an outstanding response. A lot of DMs, a lot of dialogue. A lot of people are going to start talking to their kids. They didn't think about it. But we're going a step further to some of the parents that responded because they were the kids that nobody paid attention to. And they turned to the wrong people. One lady, she asked if she could speak with me, and I said, of course. So we had a nice phone conversation. Lovely, lovely person. And she said it was okay if I shared, so I'm sharing. And if you're watching this, I'm waving. I'm not using a name, but I am going to share her story. So her parents had, I don't know if they were married, but dad wasn't in the home. He was gone. He wasn't part of the picture. Mom had better things to do, bottom line. Mom was never around. And it was, she and her siblings just kind of had to raise themselves. So they turned to an auntie. And this auntie was the fun auntie. Now, they had one auntie that was the religious auntie that wanted everybody to go to school, go to church, dress appropriate and all that. Well, they stayed clear of her. But they loved this other auntie. This other auntie was fun. She taught them, like age 10, she taught them to smoke. She taught them to drink. She taught them about using marijuana. She taught them about using speed to lose weight. And she said it was crazy the things that they were doing. When they were staying with their auntie, there were no rules, there were no curfews, you ran wild, ran free. If you missed school, she'd write you a note. Don't worry, she had your back. You go out and you have a good time, you're only a kid once. Well, she said she was only a kid once until she got caught by the police. She and one of her cousins had gone to the mall and were shoplifting. And it wasn't anything big. She said it was just some cheap little bracelet that probably cost $1, which she had in her pocket. But the mall police caught them. And they called the auntie. And the auntie came down. Oh, I'll take them. Don't worry. This won't happen again. And they said, well, that's fine. You're this child's parent. We need this child's parent. And she said, no, it's okay. And they said, no, we need this child's parent. So her mama came down. Her mama wasn't happy. Now, her mama tanned her hide and took her home, and she promised never to do it again. So she did it again. Only this time, she got caught with a bunch of kids that were vandalizing some property. They didn't see any harm in it. It was an abandoned house, they thought. Well, it really wasn't abandoned. The people were on an extended vacation, and they still had stuff there. So the people that lived there, the stuff that was there, that were like sofas covered with sheets so you don't get dust and dirt on them and things like that. Well, the kids, and I understand the kid philosophy that you see stuff like that on TV and it's an abandoned house, maybe it's a spooky house, and you throw rocks and you do all this stuff. Well, they broke into the house and they created some havoc. They started a fire. And, it was serious. The house did not burn down. There was damage to the kitchen, and the police arrived, and the fire department, and yeah, it wasn't good. And that's when her mom changed her ways. Her mom realized she had to rein in the kids. The police set the mom down and told her, you're going to lose custody of your kids if this doesn't change. The aunt really didn't see it as that big a problem. I said, okay, so what happened? What's the end of the story? Tell me. And she said she got her life together. After high school, she got her life together. She went to junior college. She went on to college. She's a teacher. She has a great life. She said she's a helicopter parent. And I said, I'm proud of you. That's great. Do your kids know about this? And she laughed and she said, well, some of it. And I said, well, it's okay to share. Let them know that you're human and you made mistakes. I said, I have to ask, what happened to the aunt? They said, it's really funny. She married a minister, but she never changed. She's still that same person. Okay. Interesting story. But I'm glad things worked out for her. And she knows the direction things can go because she's been on the receiving end of that. And I did ask her throughout all of that, when you were, running around with your aunt and the cousins, did you feel safe and did you feel loved? She said no. She felt free, but she never felt safe. She never felt loved. She never felt valued or heard. She just felt that she could do whatever she wanted. I thought that was interesting. I heard from a gentleman, and it was just a text. And he said his parents were kind of the same way. There was a guy in the neighborhood, a single guy, and that's where all the guys in the neighborhood would go and play touch football and basketball and all of that. And everybody loved this guy. He had barbecues, and he was just the neighborhood favorite. Well, one day after playing touch football, the guy wanted to touch something more. And the little boy was molested. He was raped. Molested is the wrong term. Molested soft sells it. The little boy was raped. And he said it really messed him up for a very long time. He withdrew. He started using drugs. He dropped out of school for a while. His parents saw the problem. They took him to a therapist. They got him the help they needed. They came together as a family. And yes, they prosecuted the molester, which I'm very proud of him when I told him that. Bad things happen when you don't pay attention to your kids. Kids need people to hear them and value them. They need guidelines. They need structure. And if they don't get it at home, they're going to go somewhere else. If your child does not feel heard, they're going to go to somebody that will listen to them. They may not pay attention to them, but they're going to pretend to. And too often with the cases that I see, and you have to remember, I do a lot of work with kids that have been trafficked, kids that have run away, kids that have been sold, kids that have accidentally been kidnapped. Well, they're just meeting an online friend at Dairy Queen, and the next thing you know, they're drugged. They're in the back of a car, and they're in Mexico. They're in California. They're in South Texas with no cell phone. Cell phones were gone. They took them. No ID. And it's a bad life. I don't want that to happen to your kids, and it happens every day. And it's horrible. If your child feels that nobody listens, nobody cares, and they're carrying a lot of burdens on their heart, maybe it isn't a big burden to you, but it is to them. They are not going to be able to complete a project on time. They failed a midterm, whatever. They're not making friends. People are making fun of them for whatever reason. They're going to turn to someone that's going to listen or is going to pretend to listen because you won't. And why won't you? You've got other things to do. How many times have you told your kid, oh, suck it up, you're fine. You don't know what problems are. Well, you better get used to it. It's a rough world out there. Sit down with your kid, talk to your kid, listen to them. Share with them things you went through. Let them feel valued and nurtured and loved and understood so that a stranger isn't doing it. So that it isn't a guy down the street. So it isn't somebody they meet online. A total stranger portraying themselves to be 14, 15, 16 years old, comes out the guy's really 50. Or the girl, the woman, is really 50. And more we're seeing teachers that the kids turn to. And the teachers are the molesters. Keep your kids safe. It's your job to keep your kids safe. It's your job to listen to your child, to sit down and talk to them. You know when they walk in that door if there's a problem. You know. You feel it in your bones. Hey, I'm a mama and I'm a grandma, and I know. If there's a problem, I know it. I want to be there for my son and my granddaughter. I mean, my son, he's 46, but I'm still going to be mama. He knows I'm always around if he needs me. He knows that. I'm a phone call away, without judgment. If your kids come to you with a problem on their heart, don't judge, don't laugh, don't ridicule. Listen. Because to them, it's huge. To you, it's nothing. To them, it's huge. Listen. Pay attention. Comfort them. And tell them, thank you for sharing this with me, for telling me. And let's find a way to deal with this together. You're not in this alone. I want you to think back to when you were in school, junior high, high school, whatever. You had big burdens on your heart. Maybe the guy you wanted to ask out asked somebody else out. Maybe somebody broke your heart. Maybe you failed a test. Whatever it is, you had problems. And what if you had gone to mom or dad and sat down and they listened? They really listened to you. And they said, oh my God, I am so sorry that you're going through this. And they gave you a hug, kissed you on the forehead and said, look, we're in this together. You're not going through this alone. We're going to figure it out together. I promise. How would that have made you feel? Valued, heard, loved, safe? Every child is worth that. If you didn't receive that growing up, give it to your child. Give that gift to your child. Be the parent you wish that you had, because every child is worthy.